Vanguard!
Hey Cardfighters, it's been a while that we did one of these Road to Nextage update videos, and that basically has to do that there wasn't really a lot revealed lately for Gear Chronicle that was of a big importance to the current existing strategies or the upcoming new strategy with Chronojet and Nextage, of course. However, with a couple of reveals stacked up on each other and with one significant reveal from yesterday, I think it's about time to have a new episode of the Road to Nextage and start discussing the couple of cards for Gear Chronicle that were revealed. And we started with some trial deck cards, and then we head our way onwards to the extra booster set, the next stage. And we start off with this new Grade 1 Gears Repeater, and its ability is Auto Vanguard and Vanguard Circle. When placed from hand, costs Soul +1, and this unit gets power plus 5k until the end of turn. I honestly don't know what to think about this card. It's pretty lackluster in what its ability is. And sadly, for some reason, this is going to be the triple R foil card from the trial deck, which we're going to guarantee going to get. And honestly, I'm disappointed in that fact. I would much rather have Baron Rover, as Baron Rover is a much cooler card. It really looks like a grade 1 version of Chronojet. Its skill is actually pretty decent. But this skill, I don't really know what to think about. It's pretty meh, and it doesn't really synergize with anything the clan has to offer as of yet. Maybe with the upcoming support in the extra booster set, this might suddenly become insanely good, or with Troboscope Dragon yet to be revealed, then maybe it synergizes with that. But so far, Soul Blasting 1 with an on-place condition from hand and only 5k is pretty lackluster. And the artwork is also not really something for me personally. It looks like it's a Chronojet Dragon corrupted by Link Joker to some extent, but not in the cool aspect that we're used to with the reverse cards. And its flavor text speaks volumes about what I personally, and I see a lot of other people out there, think about the card. As its flavor text is hesitation, confusion, starting over, and the hand moves forward. And that sums up everything about this card, because I'm very hesitant to say something positive about this card. I'm very confused about this specific card, and I rather want to start over with the reveals of this trial deck to get something better. And definitely, my hand is moving forward past this card to the next support sets for Gear Chronicle. So with that, let's talk about the other cards. So another card from the trial deck is this supporting grade 3, the Steam Gunner Yarlaganda, and its ability is Auto Vanguard to Vanguard Circle. When it attacks, costs counter +1, draw a card, and this unit gets power plus 5k until the end of turn. It's a very generic unattacked, counterless, you draw one and get a little bit power. It's fine. It's a trial deck support card. It's a little bit better, honestly, than Gears Repeater, as at least you get a draw out of it. And it could potentially synergize with Chrono Fang if we get some mid-battle countercharging going on. And that will synergize with Chrono Fang's with one card in hand condition that you need to throw everything face down. So there is a potential for this card. It's an overall okay support card for budget players, and it helps to all kinds of decks to have a bit more consistency. So I think it's a fine trial deck support card. It's definitely going to be one will be replaced, but what to expect is a trial deck card. And those were the only two reveals that we got for the trial deck. So let's dive into the new 4 cards that we got for the upcoming extra booster set, the next stage. And we start off with this odd grade 2 that is Steam Performer Ragap. And we're starting to get more and more of these instrumental cards. And its ability is honestly really weird, as it's Auto on Vanguard Circle. When it attack hits a Vanguard, stand this unit, and this unit cannot attack a Vanguard until the end of turn. So it's a 9k body, so you're losing a bit of base power, as we're a Force clan. And it has an on-hit when a Vanguard hit, and it resends, but you can no longer attack the Vanguard. So it allows you to hit into the rear guards. You probably are going to activate this skill maybe once in the game, especially early game. But early game, they might not even have rear guards to hit. So what's the point of restanding it? And also, if it has this kind of condition, your opponent is just going to intercept their interceptors to block the attack. So I don't really see the point. It's only useful if your opponent has grade 1s in the front row or grade 3s. But you need to boost this thing, or it needs to be on a force marker to then actively hit the Vanguard as well as hitting the rear guard if those have a higher base powers. Unless there is some support card for this card coming up, I don't really see the point and value of this card, honestly. And there isn't actually something in premium as well that will synergize with this, as it's really awkward. The only way that I can see it has some more value is against Exo clans, as they will have most likely more units in the front row, but it's an actual really awkward skill and a card to be put in Gear Chronicle. Is this not really up Gear Chronicle's alley as type of skill? This more looks like something like Nova Grappler or Aquaforce. So I'm honestly very confused about what they're trying to do with this specific card. Now we go over two cards that I already discussed on this channel that when I went over the new leaks from the magazine, as I discussed these two cards at the end of that video. So I will quickly highlight these cards once again and give one or two remarks, and then we're gonna move on. And the first one is the Great One, Steam Cook Xiaoshu, and her ability is Auto Rearguard Circle. When it attacks, cost discard a card from your hand, and this unit gets power plus 10k until the end of turn. This is nice, as we're getting more Chronofang support, even though Chronofang was from the previous set, so that means they're still gonna support that archetype to some extent, and as soon as the cards within Chronofang are very generic, it can also be used for Chronojet or any other archetype that might come after this, so it's fine. So it's great that we're seeing the support. This is also a very nice addition for Rebellion, as this can be the booster behind Rebellion, and you can still activate this ability first, power up the center column, and then potentially get a better trigger of Rebellion as you're lowering your hand size even further. So this is a nice addition for that as well, and it can also extend in Time Leap for premium, as this could be a solid grade 1 Time Leap target if you need a nice booster to hit over defense trigger where Malum could not do that. So it allows to have some more synergies and more options for different strategies, and so overall just a fine card, especially for a common. Then we get even more discard synergy, as we got this Great One, the old 8k vanilla from the old trial deck, and that is Mazer Gear Dragon. And its ability is auto. When this card is discarded from your hand during your turn, cost Soul plus 1, choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards and retire it. So this is yet again more control options and a card that synergizes with discard effect. So this could of course synergize with Chronofang, but usually I'm not really that fan of cards that can only trigger off of different skills. This means these cards are pretty dead cards unless you can activate them with other cards. But in Gear Chronicle, I don't really mind this as much, because Gear Chronicle's main grade 3s, the units that you're most likely going to sit on, can forcefully activate these effects because they have a discard effect attached to them thanks to the pseudo strike mechanic. So in a Gear Chronicle clan, in a deck that uses it to this capacity, these aren't actual dead cards, and you can just utilize their skills whenever. And that makes it a little bit better, as you can now put a control option in any Gear Chronicle deck, as Chronojet Dragon most likely won't focus on control, so putting Mazer Gear Dragon into that build, you can have some control options added to the list. So that's a nice addition to it, because this specific card won't really synergize with Chronofang, as Chronofang's own ability will already retire the 2 front row rear guard, so it won't really help the deck as much unless you're up against Axel. But that's still a very small window of opportunity, as we're going to move forward to a Force meta, and with that we'll also see more Protect decks, and that will mean we're going to see less and less of Axel decks. So that means it's not really that guaranteed that you're going to get value of this card if you put it in Chronofang. So I see this more as a Chronojet support card, which is ironic, as it was the original 8k of the Chronojet trial deck back in the G era. But now we're going to get to the final card, and this is actually the main reason why I want to make this video, as this is finally the first card revealed for Gear Chronicle ever since we wrapped up the Astro Force set and we got the first reveals of the trial deck that is Chronojet Dragon himself, and that is Steam Fighter Bali. And this was the old Chronojet grade 3 support card back in the early days of the G era and in the beginning of the Time Leap era. So it's nice to see him back, and he is once again in the supporting backseat position, as its ability is Auto and Vanguard the Rearguard Circle, and it's nice because he also has the Force marker. When placed, look at the 7 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Chronojet Dragon from among them, and put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. If you did not put a card into your hand, this unit gets power plus 10k until the end of turn. This is a search skill, how a search skill should be written down, as we have a search effect, but if we do not succeed, we get an additional bonus from it. So we always are going to get a benefit from using this effect. We have seen this in the past with Aquaforce with the Algo Searcher that will get 3k power regardless. And this card will give a bit more power, but only if you do not succeed with searching. And this makes these on-play searcher cards a lot better, as it doesn't matter what the outcome is, you will get some value out of it. And this in particular is pretty damn good for Chronojet Dragon. In standard, it depends on how Nextage works, but it's most likely, or there's a high likely chance, that it needs a Chronojet Dragon installed to activate this ability. So that means we need Chronojet Dragon at all times. So searching it out will help us with more plays. And even if that's not the case, because of the fact that Chronojet Dragon has a rearguard skill, searching it out will allow us to put it onto the rearguard slot. So that's already a good synergy with that specific aspect of Chronojet Dragon himself. But besides that, this is also a nice addition for a premium timely build, as we want to run Chronojet Dragon as our main Vanguard, as we get access to all our abilities and we get access to the G-Guard like Hater Around Dragon. So we want to get Chronojet Dragon in our hand, but if we could, we want to rewrite it every turn to get more and more force markers onto the field that will synergize with our time leap combos. So fetching more Chronojet Dragons to hand is also nice, but this is good regardless of what the outcome is of its ability, as either you fetch a Chronojet Dragon to hand, so that's a free plus, and that means you can rewrite next turn, but if you do not get it, this can be a very strong timely target, as it's on its own is already a 23k beater. On a force marker, 33, 43, 53, it doesn't really matter. That's a really strong beater, and time leap usually don't have a lot of strong beaters on their own. The only thing that they can rely on is time leap specific cards that then get extra power from History Build Dragon as a continuous effect from the G-Zone. So this is a very good addition as well, because the upcoming build for time leap doesn't really have an extra supporting grade 3 that does a lot, as we have Chronojet Dragon V with the force marker, and then most likely the support card would be Chronojet Dragon G just to have the Chronojet Dragon name. But honestly, with this kind of ability, this might even be a better addition to that build, as 1, it's a guaranteed force marker, and 2, it has an extra searcher extender and a plus engine within itself. So that's actually a pretty nice addition. The only thing that I wish we could do is somehow cheat this card on turn 2 onto the field, as if we could do that, we could potentially fix our right target for next turn when we want to go into grade 3. Sadly, that's not possible in either standard or premium, because we don't really have a reliable source of an engine to do that, as we could rely on time leap, but the only reliable card that could time leap in the early game is Steam Sniper Lishma. But that is a grade 1 that will then time leap itself. So it will turn into a grade 2, not in a grade 3. So that's sadly not enough. But by extending that, Lishma, in the later turns when we have GB ready, we can time leap itself into a delayed blazer, and the delayed blazer can time leap another grade 2 into grade 3, that will be this Bali, and then we have a solid rearguard beater, as well as a really strong delayed blazer, because it is an 11k, but it will get additional power from History Build Dragon. So these combos that we already have established with the present support is going to get even better and better and better with the new cards and the new addition. So I'm very excited about this specific card, and if there is a potential to cheat this card out a turn earlier, as my suspicion is that is a very plausible thing. Because if we take a look at the old Bali, that was basically what it did. You write it as a grade 3, and the moment you strike, you swap it out for Chronojet Dragon. So you fix your Chronojet Dragon hard. So in essential, you fix your right target. So it would not be that unexpected to see that we could cheat this card out a turn earlier on grade 2 to search out our Chronojet so we can fix our right target. And that is what the old Bali did. So it might be that is the case, or they just reworked its ability to have a different aspect within the build, which is pretty nice if you ask me. But a man can dream. Overall, that were the reveals for today, and there weren't really that amazing cards revealed in the last couple of days for Gear Chronicle, but now with the upcoming reveals focusing heavily more and more on the Nextage booster set, and with the reveal of Steam Fighter Bali, it will start to get a little bit more exciting from this point onward. As my suspicion is that in the next couple of days, we're going to see Troublescope Dragon, the main grade 2 of the trial deck, and that most likely will be a vital card for the upcoming build, just like as we see with Liverot. So that's at least where my expectations and hopes are lying. But also with the upcoming reveal stream, we're going to see the VRs for the Nextage booster set, because we only have 4 more weeks left before that set is revealed. And the way Bushiroad always is doing their live streams, it's always the VR, then another VR, then another VR, and the week before the set is released, they're gonna have a fight match. And with only 4 weeks left, they exactly have 3 weeks left for all the VRs. And then we have the exhibition match for the hype creation for the set that will then be released in Japan. And if they do the exact same sequence that they did with the trial deck, there's a highly likely chance that in 3 days of recording this video, we're going to see Nextage. And I'm honestly very, very excited about that, as that could suddenly put everything in place. As we already see what Bali can do, we can see what Chronojet Dragon do, we have seen the new Grade 3, we have seen the new Grade 4 with Metallica Phoenix and some things from the trial deck. And once we see Nextage, I think things are gonna go nuts, as then we're going to see the full capacity of the deck, and then with each and every single extra piece to the puzzle, we're probably gonna see a very, very fun deck for Gear Chronicle to play whenever this set is gonna drop. So it's gonna be very exciting the next coming days, and fingers crossed that Nextage will be released very soon, but we have to wait and see, because it can also just be Altmal or Asha. If it's Asha, I wouldn't complain. If it's Altmal, it's also fine, because that means we will have Nextage and Asha back to back in the coming weeks. So whatever the outcome is, it's a win-win situation for us. And honestly, I rather hope they're gonna wait with Nextage until the very last livestream, because that makes this video series a bit more justified, as it's the Road to Nextage, and having Nextage in the middle of the series is pretty weird, because where are we then heading towards? So yeah. But that's about it for today. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of these new cards for Gear Chronicle. Probably not a lot, as they're pretty generic, but maybe something with Bali or with Mesa Gear Dragon or with Xiaoshu. You think, hey, these are pretty awesome and you can do this and this with them. So let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. As always, this video has been brought to you by our lovely patrons over at patreon.com/Vanguard Insider. You guys are amazing. If you do want to support the channel or everything that's happening on the channel, then head over to patreon.com/Vanguard Insider and become a patron today. But with that said, I'm Mr. Timely, and I see you guys in the next one!